My name is Craig Bachman. I am part of the Rick Art Department. This is the 3D faculty show. These pieces are sort of a new branch for me. I am incorporating wood into my ceramics pieces. This summer, am I allowed to move around? This summer I threw a bunch of tops or bottoms, however you want to think about it, and then I recently got a lathe, so I was playing with incorporating wood into the ceramic pieces. Like on this one, the ceramic base, and then there's the wood base on the bottom, which is walnut. I choose the wood that I hope goes well with the top. I glaze the top half first, finish that first, because it's easier to mate the wood side to the ceramic side than it is to go the other direction. Ceramics doesn't move much. And most of them, the top comes off, the littler lid. I don't see them as functional. This one too, the top comes off. The ones on the other side, I think are the same. I had a couple that the whole top came off and this was the container itself. My work's about contained spaces. I have been making sort of functional work for a long time. My vessel forms have always kind of evolved from teapots to jars to anything like that. And a lot of them are about the surface, and that's what kind of fascinated me about the wood. I could get different surfaces, and I didn't have as much control. It was nice to kind of let go of things and start to play with a new material. I've been doing clay for a long time, and to bring wood into it was a little harder than I expected, but also fun. And you know, I just like to make things. I don't really care what material. I just tell my students all the time, just make and things will come out. I mean, this one here is actually a school glaze that we have here that I kind of liked. And I like the glossiness on a lot of them. On this one here, when I was using the walnut on the bottom, I kind of like the way this one came off of the high points. This one here is a glaze I've used forever, and it was more of, I did it for my daughter's work when she was younger, because she would decorate and it would cover her designs well and she'd still see through it but hide it enough that it made it look good. Most of my work is glossy. This is one of my favorite pieces that I've made in a long time. I like the shape, I like the way it sits there, I like the way it holds volume. I even like the base. It originally started when I was making it, and we'll get into that later, as a piece that Bill and I would use together, but then that's how I jumped into the wood part of it, because then I decided that I wanted to do it instead of Bill. A long time ago when I was in graduate school, I used to make a lot of jars and a lot of more contained space things. And then when I went into function, everything was more of a serving open face thing, except for the teapots that I made. And then now it's coming sort of full circle into contained space idea again. And since I did function forever, I don't feel restricted by function anymore. I like to use it as a reference, but not as a restriction. The biggest challenge of working with wood is that I don't know what I'm doing. Last semester, as a faculty member here, we have to review another faculty member, and Bill said to me, do you want to come review me while I do a demo on the lathe? And I've played with lathes a little bit when I was younger, but never much. So I watched the demo last April, and I thought that'd kind of be fun to do. So with me, I started doing it, and I got a lathe at home, and now I play around more, you know. Like when you ask me to do a demo on the lathe, I don't feel like I'm proficient on the lathe at all as far as showing my skills on camera. You know, my ceramic work I've done forever, I'm fine with things like that, but the lathe, I wouldn't say I'm a hack, but I'm just learning how to do it. And I understand basic form and basic shape, so it's easy for me to kind of look at something and say that's what I want. How I get there is a whole different story sometimes. Probably not the proper way. It's right there, you know, it's just as I'm taking it away, it's either working or it's not. Where the glaze, I'm letting go of it for a while and then it's coming back. And I mean, I have fairly good control of it, so I know thickness, but sometimes if it's too thick or too thin, you can't know until it's done. Where when you're working with wood, it's immediate. You know when you mess up, or you know when you have it right. This is the only one that's cracked. these aren't cracked because these are kiln dried wood that I bought. This was a tree at the one house that I got that I did when it was wet, so I knew it was going to crack, so it's not like it was a controlled crack, but it was, it's getting bigger by the day, but it's a crack. It's just a moisture situation when, you know, because I still ask Bill about things. It's like, can I do this? And he's like, sure, you can turn wet wood, and it was wet when I was turning it. Wasn't really wet, but it was kind of wet, and he said it's probably going to crack, and I said that's fine. I mean, it doesn't, I don't see them as functional things. They're decorative objects. So the crack's one of those things that if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do, that's fine too. And I think the pieces work well. I mean, I really do like this one the best. I think it's a nice piece. The other two, I'm just starting to experiment with them as far as how they work, and I have more at home. And when I throw a lot. So I threw like 23 pieces that can fit on the wood, and now I'm glazing them and kind of doing whatever. It's probably not a great way to work because they're all a little bit too alike. I wish I would have thrown 5 and then put them together, then throw. The progression would have been easier for me. This one is one of the ones where the top is all together, and then this is the contained space there, as far as if it would be a container. Not that they are. This one here, the top just opens again. I do like the proportions on that one, and my wife hated that piece, and I actually kind of liked these kind of lines here, so that's why I brought it. It was sort of a discussion at home whether that was a good one. I also liked how it tucked in. I like that sort of tuck there, and that's what I mean by when I work with the wood. It's easier to shape the wood to the ceramics because I have the ceramic right there, and I can just take a little bit away, try it, take a little, you know, and get it to where I think it works. This one here, I wanted to kind of relate the bottom form, but I wanted that separation between the two pieces, which I like. You know, I actually kind of like these newer pieces. I haven't decided if I really like them yet or not. The collaboration stuff sort of moves around. There's times I'm more involved, sometimes I'm less involved when Bill gets it. Sometimes I get it, the stuff that was in here before, the ones that were on the wall with the 3 containers, that was Bill made, then gave to me, so I had second. So the person that has it second has a little more control of what the finished product's gonna look like. Like I saw the pieces of this when Bill was doing it, but and he explained it to me how it was going to go together, but I didn't totally know what was going on. You know, I gave him these 2 pieces, which I kind of liked. I like this piece. You know, this is great work. This is really great texture. That's nice, and it goes well with my stuff. But his piece is definitely the dominant side here, which is fine, and that's sort of the collaboration we have. But whoever gets it second gets to make not the final decision, but kind of the final decision. Oh, we never talk each other through, ever. So it's always kind of a surprise, yeah. Like I said before, I make a lot of stuff. And if you look at these things for Bill has, I have 6 times as many at home that aren't glazed. And I just kind of pick things up and glaze them when it's time that I need them, or I make more than when I need them. So I just kind of make a lot of work, and I think I like that, and then I give it to Bill. Or I don't like that, and it gets thrown away, or it stays on the shelf, you know? So yeah, I don't have a preconceived plan on what Bill will do with them, because then I would just be disappointed because he would do something different. Not disappointed, but you know, yeah, we don't have control of each other at all. I work faster than Bill, so I'm always ready to hand him things. So, I mean, there's times when he hands me something, but it's fewer than when I make more stuff, just because you can see why. I mean, this one here is more elaborate than most. The other ones, though, I mean, even there, it takes Bill longer to turn this, and this than me to do whatever, the pieces. So usually I'm the one that has pieces ready at all times. Thank you. The show's available until September 20th. Come by, see all the work. Hopefully the students take advantage of this. It's a great opportunity.